What would happen if the person you relied on for years, the PI, who oversees your experiments, checks data, reads the draft of your manuscripts or grants, approves milestones, suddenly, one day, suddenly decided not to support your career? It's not going to be a fun situation. You, the PhD student or postdoc who has spent countless years, countless hours designing experiments, troubleshooting protocols, analyzing data, writing papers or grants, mentoring junior PhD students or master students, keeping the lab running. What happens if all that work goes unacknowledged in a reference letter? This is what we are going to deal in this video. That fear is real. It's subtle, often unspoken, but it shapes your behavior. You feel fragile because you relied too heavily on that one individual. When funding depends on the lab, when as an international PhD or postdoc your visas depend on the lab, when graduation depends on the lab, it's easy to believe that your entire career depends on that one person. Now, think about it. Once the mind believes it, our action changes. We begin to speak cautiously with the PI. We tolerate their bad behavior more than we should. We delay opportunities because the timing is not right as per them. But here's the reality. The fear that you are feeling is real, yes, but fear is not strategic. It's not going to help you. Strategy, preparation, clarity, these are the things that shape your careers. Let's examine why this fear has power. Because we are approaching this from a practical perspective. It's not the reference letter itself that terrifies you as a PhD or postdoc. It's the concentration of power. When one person controls the outcome that defines your career, your mind negotiates for survival. We tend to walk on eggshells. We second guess ourselves. We delay leaving the lab or exiting the lab. But here's the professional reality. Your career is built on your effort, your contributions, your execution, not someone else's perception alone. You have to keep reminding yourself that even as a PhD student or postdoc, you create value every day for your PI, for the lab, for science. You complete the experiments, you write the drafts for grants or for manuscripts, you analyze results, you do mentoring. All of that matters. Careers are built on growth. They are built on visibility. They are built on execution. They are built on evidence, not on avoidance from your PI. Now let's clarify something that is very crucial. And many PhDs and postdocs don't know that. In countries like the United States, Canada, UK, sure, a supervisor can decide not to provide you a reference letter. That's completely legal. But knowingly providing false statements with intent to harm your employment, that is defamation or interference. And it is actionable, meaning this is illegal. Most universities train faculty to stick to verifiable facts when they are giving reference letters because they understand that the PI should not break the law. But the point here is not the legal battle with your PI, it is strategic preparation, understanding the system And understanding what is legal and illegal gives you leverage. Understanding the rules reduces fear. Many trainees assume if the PI refuses to write a reference, their career is over. And I agree, it may feel like it. But when you apply for a job, just read the job posting carefully. Most say 3 professional references. Rarely it says that it needs to be coming from your PI, especially if you are applying for industrial jobs. Tradition and assumptions amplify fear. Once you realize a professional reference can be anyone who credibly speaks about your work, pressure reduces and options increase. And the independence that you should have, it grows. And this is not about confrontation. It is structural freedom. Now, let's be honest. The ideal scenario should have been that we all hope for is that you work hard and earn an excellent reference from your PI. But that's most textbook. That's what we imagine. Or ideally, we clarify differences with the PI and ensure their emotions do not influence the letter. And that your merit, not their mood, should define the recommendation letter. All that is an idealistic outcome. But reality is that it does not always work this way. There could be personality clashes between the PI and the researcher, politics, circumstances. That's why we focus on alternative options that are equally credible, and that is the main focus of this video. And you have to be strategic. You have to think as a PhD and a postdoc about thesis committee members who have evaluated your research formally or attended presentations, and they have gone through your methodologies, have questioned it and approved milestones for you. Their letters carry objectivity, often more persuasive because they are independent of lab politics. So their opinion comes more unbiased and still has a lot of value, and sometimes more value than your PI letters. Second is you can get letters from collaborators from other labs. If you have co-authored a paper with someone or have done a joint project or have shared data sets, these referees can speak to your execution, reliability, communication, intellectual contributions. And these are the people who could be PIs outside your lab PIs hierarchy, and their credibility is independent. Third option that you have as an alternative is a senior postdoc or direct supervisor, meaning often the PI is not present for daily work, and for a PhD student, especially senior postdocs, see the problem solving, consistency and hands-on skills. And when you apply for industrial jobs, sometimes their perspective, the perspective of the person who directly supervised you, outweighs the distant authority, which could be a PI, especially in a bigger lab. Fourth is industry mentors or internship supervisors. So if you have collaborated on applied projects or have done tech transfer or have done internship, they validated rigor and skills in real world environment. Fifth option that you can use is conference or grant collaborators. If you have organized workshops with someone or co-presented data or co-written grants together for someone other than your PI, they provide credible testimony about teamwork, visibility, contribution. Sixth option that you can use is a cross-lab peer mentors. These are senior peers who guided your projects or co-mentored students with you. They can offer nuanced insights. Their perspective is independent and often overlooked, but it should not. Now, we have to also look into the practical steps. What you should do if you are in a situation where your PI refuses is map all referees, rank them by credibility, rank them by independence, visibility, and make sure that you have strategic contact with them, you are in touch with them. And this way you're not trying to be rebellious to your PI, but you're trying to be resilient to your career. And even if the ideal reference is unavailable, which should have been your PI, your career remains on track. And this is anytime better than not having a letter or just waiting for your PI to decide your career. So start thinking in layers. Layer 1, thesis committee, evaluators. Layer 2, collaborators, cross-lab connections. Layer 3, daily supervisors or senior postdocs, especially if you are a PhD. Layer 4, industry mentors, grant conference collaborators, if that applies to you. Layer 5, peer mentors or cross-lab advisors. You should make sure that in these kind of situation, or even if you are having a smooth ride, always document milestones, approvals, emails, contributions. Build a network of credibility. No single individual, no single PI should dominate the perception of how good or bad you are. Sometimes a job explicitly requires a letter from your current PI, so this is a practical problem. But in these situations, do not panic, do not react emotionally. Instead, verify the job requirement, let's say with the HR. Balance this with other references, committee, collaborators, senior postdocs. Third is to document evidence, milestones, approvals, emails, publications. Fourth is diversify your visibility through presentations, collaborations, relationships, outside lab. You cannot control the temperament of your PI. You can control your own career structure. A career resting on one person, one PI, is always going to be very fragile. A career supported by multiple credible voices is resilient. So even if you have a good PhD or postdoc going on, always have these references ready. Risk does not disappear, but it stops defining your choices when you have these many options. Maintain a professional record of every contribution that you have made. Keep a list of potential referees with notes on strengths all the time. Like I said, even if you have good relationship with your PI, keep this ready and try to check in periodically with mentors and collaborators. Stay in touch with them so that when you need their references, they are ready to give you one. Build networks outside your lab, conferences, seminars, forums. References become a web of credibility, not a single lever of influence. The stronger the web of credibility that you have, the weaker the leverage of that one individual, that one PI has on you. And I wanted to clarify, this is not anti-PI. Many mentors, many professors, many PI guide with integrity. So we are thankful to them, but this is about refusing fear to define your career. It's about building resilience. It's about building independence. When multiple credible voices support you as references, your anxiety will diminish. And when evidence exists, when you have already done good work, the perception will align with reality even if your PI is not supporting you. And when dependency on that one PI reduces, their leverage will evaporate. If you want to plan your next steps and survive and thrive in your lab environment, also watch other videos that I have made on this channel because I cover a wide range of topics that is bothering a lot of PhDs and postdocs.